Encore Revival. America, January 9, 2021. The treachery of American political parties runs much deeper than any of us thought. There is nothing wrong with the Constitution. The problem lies within political parties that ignore their voters. Biden is the rightly elected president because voters do not actually choose the president. They indicate their will to Congress, which is allowed to ignore the will of voters, which Congress just did. The Republican Party is finished. The Democratic Party is soon to be. Trump was an outsider who actually took easy and necessary steps to stop the global breakdown caused by a selfish political class made of fake Republicans and fake Democrats. For this good he did, that political class attacked his unrelated character flaws. The system, determined on its own self-destruction, could not resist its neediness to attack anyone trying to save it. When push came to shove and the Capitol chamber was breached, the Washington worms retreated to their old belief that nice talk without right action calms angry citizens. That's what the Republicans did to their voters. Then again, Republican voters have done the same to Democratic voters on police violence and racism for centuries. Peter Drucker said, "Management is doing things right. Leadership is doing the right things." Republicans have been good managers, doing things right without doing right things. Democrats pretend to do the right things, but always do things wrongly. Trump was loved for America's brief moment of finally doing a few things right. Not one war started for the first time in decades. Allies cut the umbilical cord from dependence on American soldiers. Many troops were called home. Many jobs returned, but Trump didn't redress grievances. So in mainstream media, he was criticized for his tone instead of grievances neglected. The treachery is not in the Constitution, which rightly gave Democratic voters the stolen election they wanted. Republican voters lost because they would not exit their complacency to create a third party and because they would not win the hearts of their Democratic voting neighbors. Instead, they grew lazy and angry in their religious fallacy that Trump was some kind of heavenly savior chosen by God to create a godly government within a system that rejects godliness. Trump did not incite the Washington protesters to illegally enter the Capitol. Republican state legislatures provoked them by not heeding the countless peaceful assemblies and petitions. The blood spilled and yet to be spilled is on their hands. Now only Trump can reduce the rage that those Republican legislators certified when they certified an election they had a mandate not to. Unless Trump has other plans, which he probably does, the next ordinary step would be for him to resign so Pence could pardon him from the politically motivated assault he is under, then further his political movement to evict the establishment that rejected the majority of voters along with him. That would give his raging supporters a constructive way to direct their rage. The Washington worms would be wise to leave him alone if he does, lest things get even worse than Washington's overuse of Delphi technique has already made them. However, that presumes we are in ordinary times, which we are not. Likelihood of politics as usual decreases with each news headline. Remember, Trump is full of surprises. Our times are unprecedented. Banning millions of Twitter and Facebook users from following a president, even in his lame duck days, is like trying to stop the Mississippi River with a papier-mâché dam. It only creates a new and unpredictable river. Newsmax and Gab sure are making money. Perhaps they are the real conspirators. This unabashed censorship and the Republican disdain for its own base indicates power mongers who fear something the public doesn't know yet, but are convinced the public will soon learn anyway. Likelihood is high for martial law, followed by a new political party to rise, along with the return of another public figure betrayed by the RNC, Sarah Palin. We've seen angry Democrat voter protests. Now we will see what happens when the Republican base is enraged, something the political class undermined more than we thought We don't need to prove an election was fraudulent. We need to prove that each election wasn't. In this election, proving fraud would be easier than proving accuracy. The Republican Party had a mandate to undo doubtful election results from its voters. They constitutionally and legally ignored those voters, not knowing they ended their political futures when they did. So, the greatest danger Trump posed from the beginning is no longer a threat. The Republican Party will not gain trust from Trump's work done too well. The new danger is that treachery of the legislature often gives rise for the executive to declare martial law. If Trump is conspiring instead of merely salvaging, then the RNC and DNC are in on it too. If not, then those parties are the conspiracy. If Trump is bad, neither party is the solution. At least the people are now awake to the depth of American treachery. The problem lies within political parties, locked in a charade like Chris and Ian pretending to be Saruman and Gandalf in a wizard duel. The DNC and RNC are not enemies. They are friends playing enemies on stage. Now the Republican voters know. The Democratic voters will figure it out in a few years. The third party is on its way. Encore. Revival has returned to America.